In a city that never slept, where car horns blared and ambition buzzed, there was one truly quiet place, the old Cedar Street Library. Deep within its dusty corners, behind stacks of forgotten poetry, you'd find Eli. Eli wasn't a student, not anymore. He'd dropped out of university after a disastrous public speaking class. He had frozen mid-sentence. The class had laughed, and he was forever labeled too nervous to lead. Now, at 19, he worked the night shift, shelving books and speaking only when he absolutely had to. He truly believed his voice was a flaw. But his mind was a universe. It overflowed with ideas. He devoured philosophy, scribbled brilliant essays in the margins of old books, and dreamed of writing stories that would make lonely people feel seen. Yet every single time he tried to share them, whether online, at an open mic, or even in a simple letter to an editor, he'd delete everything before hitting send. He'd think to himself, who would ever listen to someone who can even say his own name without stumbling? One rainy October, a flyer appeared on the library's bulletin board. It read, "Community Story Hour, share your voice. All welcome." Eli stared at that flyer for a solid week. The night before the event, something shifted inside him. He sat down and wrote a short, powerful piece he titled "The Boy Who Carried His Words in a Jar." It was a story about a child who collected all the things he could unsay. I miss you, I'm proud of you, I'm scared, and kept them sealed in a glass jar, terrified they would shatter if spoken aloud. He printed it out, folded it carefully, and left it anonymously on the event table. The next evening, he hid in the poetry aisle, his heart pounding against his ribs. The librarian, Ms. Rivera, a woman with sharp, kind eyes, picked up his folded paper. "This one came without a name," she announced to the small crowd, "but I think it deserves to be heard." And then she began to read. Eli's words, his hidden thoughts, filled the quiet room. Across the aisle, a woman quietly wiped her eyes. An old man nodded slowly, a look of understanding on his face. A teenager nearby whispered to their friend, "That's me." When she finished, Ms. Rivera held up the paper. "Who wrote this?" she asked. Silence. The air grew thick. Eli's throat tightened. He could stay hidden. He could stay safe in his silence. But then he remembered the boy in his story, and the heavy jar that grew heavier with every unspoken truth. Slowly, he stepped out from behind the shelves. I eyed it. His voice cracked, his hands trembled. But he stood there. He didn't run. Ms. Rivera didn't miss a beat. She smiled warmly. "Then you'll read your next one yourself." And he did. It wasn't perfect. His voice wavered, but it was full. It was his. Word spread. Soon, Eli's quiet hour became a beloved monthly event. It was a haven for shy voices, stuttering poets, and nervous dreamers, a place not for polished performances, but for honest hearts. Years later, Eli published his first novel, The Jar of Unsaid Things. The dedication read, "For everyone who's ever felt too quiet for this loud world." At his book launch, a young boy approached him, clutching a notebook. "I have stories," the boy whispered, "but I'm scared to read them." Eli knelt down to his level. "Then write them first," he said gently, "and when you're ready, I'll be in the front row." This story teaches us something beautiful. Self-confidence isn't about becoming the loudest person in the room. It's about trusting that your inner world, your thoughts, and your feelings matter enough to be shared. You don't need a flawless voice to touch someone's heart. You just need the courage to let one true sentence escape the jar. Because sometimes the quietest voice carries the deepest truth, and that can change everything. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content that celebrates the power of every voice.